Ohio Republicans have written a voter suppression bill so draconian that it makes Georgia's new law look mild in comparison. According to a draft of the bill obtained by More Perfect Union, Republicans in the Ohio General Assembly are preparing an all-out assault on early and mail-in voting. Ohioans will now need 2 forms of ID to vote early or by mail, and each method of voting would have slightly different ID requirements. The confusing new system would be particularly burdensome for those without a driver's license. The GOP bill will make it nearly impossible to physically return an absentee ballot in Ohio by outlawing ballot drop boxes entirely, unless the governor declared a state of emergency. And it institutes what amounts to a poll tax by banning prepaid postage on mail ballots, forcing people to pay to vote. The legislation also cuts early voting, including on the last Monday before the election, one of the most popular early voting days in the state. Ohio already has some of the most restrictive and racist voting laws in the country. 2 million voters have been purged from the rolls since Barack Obama won the state in 2012, and Ohio is one of the most gerrymandered states in the country. As a result, voter turnout in Ohio's predominantly black neighborhoods has dropped dramatically in recent elections, and Republicans now control a disproportionate share of the state government. This new bill isn't a response to any actual emergency or even a minor problem. In fact, Ohio's Republican Secretary of State said himself that Ohio just ran the, quote, most successful election it ever had in 2020. Instead, it is part of a nationwide Republican campaign to suppress the votes of young people, low-income Americans, and people of color. Research shows that voter ID disproportionately impact these groups of voters. The fewer opportunities people have to drop off or cast their ballot, the less likely they are to vote. These measures hurt working people who work long hours, don't have childcare, and otherwise can't make it out during Election Day. During the first 3.5 months of 2021, over 360 voter suppression bills were introduced in state legislatures across the country. Georgia's law has drawn national outrage by requiring just 1 form of ID and reducing the number of ballot drop boxes. But the bill drawn up by Ohio Republicans could have even more devastating consequences. Beyond the state battle, Congress can act nationally by passing the For the People and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Acts, which would protect the right to vote and end partisan and racial gerrymandering. The House of Representatives has already passed this bill. Now, it is up to the Senate Democrats to get it done.